Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Good evening. I'm your anchor. Tonight, we're bringing you a special news recap from the Middle East, where tensions between the US and Iran have reached a boiling point. President Trump's latest threat to the Strait of Hormuz has sent shockwaves across the region. We'll take a closer look at what's happening with the US Navy's response, the escalating rhetoric between Washington and Tehran, and the implications for global security. Let's dive into our top stories. We're seeing a significant escalation in tensions between the US and Iran, as President Trump announces plans to deploy a naval escort for ships through one of the world's most strategic waterways. Good evening. I'm your name, and this is our news recap. In a significant development, President Trump announced today that the U.S. Navy will begin escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz from Monday. According to Axios, President Trump made the announcement in a statement, warning Iran that if it tries to disrupt the process, the American military will use force. This move is being referred to as Project Freedom. The U.S. claims this initiative is humanitarian, aimed at ensuring the safe passage of ships and protecting global oil supplies. The Strait of Hormuz is a critical waterway connecting the Gulf of Oman with the Persian Gulf, and it's one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. Iran has been accused of threatening maritime traffic in the region, and this move by the U.S. administration is seen as an attempt to counter Tehran's influence. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani rejected the U.S. proposal, saying that it was an act of war, and warning that any attack on Iranian ships would be met with a response. The U.S. has long sought to maintain access to the strait, which is crucial for global energy supplies. This move matters because it highlights the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran, as well as the growing competition for influence in the Middle East. As one of the most critical waterways on the planet, the Strait of Hormuz plays a vital role in the global economy. We'll continue to monitor this situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. As tensions escalate in the region following a recent incident involving a U.S. warship and Iranian missile fire, we turn our attention to Iran's latest claim. The United States has denied claims by Iran that 2 Iranian missiles struck a U.S. warship in the Strait of Hormuz, according to U.S. Central Command. The semi-official state news agency FARS reported on Wednesday that the warship was turned back after it was struck while sailing near Jask Island. However, CENTCOM said on X that no U.S. Navy ships have been struck. This comes as tensions between the two countries continue to rise. U.S. President Donald Trump has vowed to free commercial ships stranded in the Strait of Hormuz as part of his so-called Project Freedom initiative. The operation was launched after the U.S. held very positive discussions with Iran, which reportedly issued a 1-month deadline for negotiations on its proposed deal to reopen the strait and bring an end to the war. Iran's warning came after Trump pledged to guide ships out of the restricted waterway for Monday morning, stating that it would free up people, companies, and countries that have done absolutely nothing wrong. The U.S. military has assured the public that the operation is aimed at de-escalating tensions and ensuring maritime security in the region. The situation remains fluid, with both sides engaging in a high-stakes game of diplomacy. The Iranian government has warned that any foreign armed forces, including the U.S. Navy, will be attacked if they approach the strait. The international community is watching closely as the situation unfolds, with many concerned about the potential for conflict to escalate in the region. Tensions escalating in the Middle East have prompted a notable naval buildup, with American warships and cargo vessels passing through a critical strategic waterway. In response to growing tensions with Iran, the United States has launched a new initiative called Project Freedom, aimed at increasing security for commercial vessels navigating through the Strait of Hormuz. On Monday, 2 American-flagged cargo ships successfully transited the waterway, accompanied by U.S. Navy guided missile destroyers. This marked the first day of Project Freedom, which aims to guide ships safely through the critical shipping passage that Iran has effectively closed since February 28. The Iranian government had previously warned it would attack any foreign armed force in the Strait of Hormuz, particularly the United States. The head of the Iranian Parliament's National Security Commission, Ebrahim Azizi, described President Trump's plan as delusional and claimed no one would believe scenarios blaming Iran for attacks. However, CENTCOM denied Iran's claim that it had struck a U.S. warship with 2 missiles. Iran's actions in the region have raised concerns among international shipping companies. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital waterway connecting Europe to Asia, with over 20% of global oil supplies passing through it. The UN's International Maritime Organization recommends sailing in or near internationally recognized sea lanes as extremely hazardous, and the narrowest point of the strait is just over 20 miles wide. The involvement of the United States and its allies has significant implications for global trade and security. With tensions between Iran and Western nations escalating, the Strait of Hormuz remains a critical flashpoint in the region. The success of Project Freedom will depend on its ability to reassure shipping companies that they can navigate the strait safely. Following recent tensions with regional neighbors, Iran has made a striking move, releasing a detailed map that outlines specific areas in the strategic Hormuz Strait. Here's the script for the segment. Iran has released a new map outlining areas in the Strait of Hormuz that it claims are under its control. The IRGC says these areas stretch between two defined maritime lines, one running from Iran's Keshem Island to Al-Quwain in the UAE, and another extending from Iran to the area south of Fujairah in the UAE. It's not clear to what degree the claimed area of control has changed since a naval blockade was imposed by the U.S. on Iranian maritime traffic in the Strait of Hormuz on April 13th. The blockade followed strikes launched by the U.S. and Israel against Iran, prompting retaliation from Tehran and its allies in the Gulf. The situation remains volatile, with no lasting truce reached between the parties involved. A 2-week ceasefire announced through Pakistani mediation was broken, and direct talks in Islamabad failed to produce an agreement on April 11th. The U.S. has extended this ceasefire without setting a new deadline, following a request from Pakistan. This development matters for several reasons. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most critical waterways, with significant oil trade passing through it. Iran's control over this area would have major implications for global energy supplies and regional stability. The conflict also raises concerns about the role of the U.S. in mediating conflicts in the region and its impact on international relations. With tensions still high, it remains to be seen how this situation will unfold and what the consequences will be for global security. As tensions continue to rise in Europe and North America, NATO's latest comments offer a glimpse into the evolving dynamics between Western allies. NATO chief says Europeans have gotten message from Trump on defense. A significant shift in NATO's stance has been announced following U.S. President Donald Trump's message of frustration over the Iran war. In a statement, Mark Rutte, the head of NATO, said that European leaders have heard the U.S. president's concerns and are now taking action. The announcement comes after Washington announced it would withdraw 5,000 troops from Germany, citing what it called an unfair share of the burden in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This move has sparked tensions within NATO and with European allies, who have expressed concerns over the impact on regional security. Rutte made these remarks before talks with European leaders in Armenia, where a meeting of the European political community was taking place. The twin security threats posed by the ongoing war in Ukraine and the Iran conflict are expected to dominate discussions at this gathering. European officials will also be discussing ways to strengthen cooperation and boost military capabilities. The move by Trump has been seen as a departure from traditional U.S. policy, which has long placed a strong emphasis on collective defense within NATO. The withdrawal of troops from Germany has raised concerns about the ability of European countries to maintain stability in their own territories. With tensions running high, it remains to be seen how this development will play out and what steps European leaders will take to address these growing security challenges. And that's all for today's news recap. We'll keep you updated on the latest developments from around the world. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis and breaking news. Stay informed with us as we bring you the facts you need to know. Until next time, good night.